You are an entrepreneur, or you want to be. Finding success is not easy. That's why you want to listen to and take advice from someone who's been there. This is the #Attitudeshield podcast. No more hype, no more BS, no blah, blah, blah. We get right to it. To the point guidance on how to change the way you think and grab the life you've always wanted. This is the #Attitudeshield podcast. And now your host, a true serial entrepreneur, having owned bars, car lots, restaurants, marketing companies. He's done it all. Here's your host, Davidlparker.
Good afternoon, good evening, and good night. Hey, it's Davidlparker. I am your Attitudeshield mentor, and I am very, very, very excited that you're here. I truly am. I hope that you're having an amazing day. I hope that it's a start of an amazing day, or you've been in the middle of an amazing day. I hope it's just amazing. Almost amazing is that fresh cup of coffee. Hey, good morning. So, sitting here hanging out in the office, thinking about things. I don't know if I've been telling you, we've been talking a lot about Attitudeshield and how things develop and the four spokes of how things move. And then, of course, additional pieces to that. I want to jump to the trackable plan part again. I want to jump to the fourth spoke, the very important spoke. I want to jump there because I want to talk about what it's like to have, for me, the entrepreneur has to be able to hold a meeting. You have to be able to have a conversation. You have to be able to discuss where you're going. How are you going to make a trackable plan if you can't discuss where you're going? If you can't literally just have a conversation that says, we're here, we're going here, 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 and here. Now, in the military, they have an acronym called METL, M-E-T-L, Mission Essential Task List. I still love that acronym. I still use it as part of my trackable plan, right? The most essential task list, what needs to be done. Let me tell you what, I'm not just talking from years of experience doing this. I'm actually in the first phase on two different companies in the S curve. We understand the business S curve, right? Entrepreneur, you have that pioneering and foundation phase down here in the bottom. And then as you grow, you have the growth phase and then the explosion phase, and then it tapers. Right now, I'm down here in the bottom in the pioneer phase, not only on my digital marketing company, but we're also looking at opening up a transportation company. See, here in the Black Hills, it's an amazingly beautiful place. We have lots of famous places and famous faces. No, pardon the pun, Crazy Horse, Mount Rushmore. But we want to be able to take people around in incredible style and comfort. So we're in the beginning, we're in the pioneering phase. We're starting a business. So what does that mean? That means we got to be able to have some meetings. We got to be able to talk. We got to be able to sit back and go, what are we going to do? How are we going to do A, B, C, D, 1, 2, 3, 4? How are you going to do these things? There's a lot of people who think that this stuff is just automatic. Just sit down at the coffee table, kitchen table, picnic table, whip out a yellow notebook and have a conversation. And guess what? They're right. I like to do it on my notebook. I don't have it here on my desk. As a matter of fact, it's over there. I was breaking it up in different kinds of pages. The OR, which to me is OAR, Organizational Area of Responsibility. The project page, the money flow page, the different things that we're going to break down and discuss how we plan on making this happen. Now, if you don't have a plan in business, forget it. It's over. What are you doing here? You're an entrepreneur, which means the buck stops and starts with us. It doesn't go anywhere. We don't get to just say, hey, let me think. Will that work? I think it'll work. Let me just go spend some money and find out tomorrow if it works. No, it's not. You have to have that fourth spoke, that trackable plan. And again, that starts from your first meetings. Now, in this transportation company that we're looking at starting, I have 3 partners. Wait, what? The only ship that never sells is a partnership. That depends. If you have your organizational area of responsibility, and everybody knows what their plan is, their task is, their area of responsibility, not to say it too many times, is, it becomes very clear. Have you decided who's going to manage the company? Have you decided who's going to do this set of responsibilities and that set of responsibilities? Break that down, have a conversation. Now, while you're having that conversation, don't forget that you need to also put in there, along and on top of areas of responsibilities, you need to also put in there what is going to happen within the company if said partner or yourself doesn't do your responsibilities. What if somebody fails to do what they're supposed to do? What if somebody doesn't keep up their part of the bargain? You have to have that written out. Now, this Attitude Shield training isn't going to be as exuberating and exhilarating as others. Why? Because now we got to talk about nuts and the bolts. We got to get things lined up, set up, and ready to go. You can't just, I'm telling you, I'm not trying to be your boss. Please don't misunderstand me. And I'm not trying to tell you this is the only way. No, what I'm trying to say is, here is something that I've done over and over and over and over. From owning a bar, to owning coffee shops, to owning delicatessens, to owning full service restaurants, to owning a car lot, a percentage of a car lot, to owning a digital marketing company, to owning a customer review software company, just continually doing something that is building the multiple income streams and is building the ability to not have the pressure on you. And part of that is important, is the fourth spoke of the Attitude Shield, and that is that trackable plan. And again, you have to have somewhere to start with. Now, listen, my fellow entrepreneurs, there are a lot of podcasts and a lot of different things out there that are going to be trying to drive you in different directions. A lot of hype and a lot of interesting things. You got to keep your distance from people that never admit when they're wrong and always try to make you feel like you're at fault, especially in business. You're going to run into some people. You're going to run into some situations. Listen, leaders who don't listen will eventually be surrounded by people who have nothing to say. You got to be able to have a meeting. You got to be able to drink coffee. You got to be able to pull out notebooks. I have two right here, literally right here. I'm not kidding. They're right here. Here, let me move my glasses. Let me move my phone. Look, I'm going to pick them both up. See? I have two notebooks sitting right here full of notes. I have my other business notebook right over there because I'm doing the trackable plan. Part of the trackable plan of the fourth spoke of the Attitude Shield is being able to go back and look. This past Saturday, which was March 5th, I was in Rapid City and I went to the Tinderbox and enjoyed a fabulous cigar. And then I went to the Mount Rushmore Hotel and enjoyed the whiskey show, the Whiskey Fest there, and sipped a lot of whiskeys and talked to a lot of people, then back to the Tinderbox for cigars. Why? Because you need to have those kind of things. You need to be able to interact with people. You need to be able to go out and interact with your community. Now, because I run a whiskey bar, of course I was involved in the whiskey. And because I love a good cigar, I was able to have a couple of good cigars. But a leader who's not listening, who doesn't take people to that, see, there's where I'm going, right? See, the guy that I work for, that's right. The guy that I run his bar for him, he took me there to the Whiskey Fest. He paid for it, right? Why? Because that's what a leader does. Is he a leader to me? Well, he's the owner, so he's in a leadership position, but that doesn't make him a leader. The actions make him a leader. But I will be able to go back into my journals, into these notebooks, and write and look up the things that I learned at the whiskey show and apply them in the future. Just like this notebook, the trackable plan for the transportation company. I can go back and we can talk about, or I can research. That's right, research the meeting, the things that we agreed upon as we put them in writing, as we make the plan, as we learn to adjust and be ready to pivot, be able to do this and do that. You have to make a secondary plan and a tertiary. Isn't that an interesting word? A third plan, A, B, C's of business. And then you have to be able to think about and envision where you're going. What are you going to be? What is the niche, or as I love to call it, the niche that you're trying to fill? What is it that's in the market, Mr. and Mrs. Entrepreneur, who happens to have a job, who happens to have a career, but what is it that's missing in the market that you're going to bring to the market? What is it that you see as missing? Because that's important. It's crazy important. The entrepreneur spirit is all about looking and seeing a problem, a challenge, something that needs to be fixed, and then figuring out a solution. So there's two parts to the solution. One, is there a solution needed? And then the second part is, why isn't it there? Listen, I'm going to give you a nugget. I'm going to give you a secret. Take a sip of coffee. Not everything missing in the market is an opportunity. Not everything. Sometimes you have to spend the time looking and seeing why it's not in the market, why you can't find it. Because maybe somebody else has already done the work to show that that's really not an opportunity. And that's why the trackable plan is so important, from the first meetings to the second meetings to the last meetings to the get-togethers. Listen, you don't have to have a meeting at a boardroom. You don't have to have my beloved whiteboards, and you don't have to have, PowerPoints and Excel spreadsheets. You can sit at a picnic table in a park. You can sit in a coffee shop on a bench, have a conversation. Well, David, what do I do if I am the only person in my company? What if I am the only person who I'm working with? Well, first of all, remember, I believe that to succeed, we all need to be part of a team. And I believe the minimum number of members of a team are 3. And I believe the magic number of the number of people on a team is 3, the executive 3 teams. I have seen so many businesses explode and succeed with an E3 team. And I've seen so many fail without one. But that's a whole different conversation now, isn't it? How to structure that. But if you are the sole serial entrepreneur and you're going to do something on your own, go for it. I got no problem with that whatsoever. None. That doesn't mean you shouldn't have a meeting. Now, I'm not telling you to go in a coffee shop by yourself and talk to yourself out loud. Me, 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 me. Unless you want to. If you really, really want to, then I get it. I've had plenty of staff meetings. Sometimes I got to have a staff meeting with myself because I need expert advice. Right? Did you get it? I hope so. But that doesn't mean you shouldn't take notes. I have on my phone a voice recorder. So if an idea hits me, bang, wait, what about this? I can record it. I can turn on my phone, be driving and be like, all right, this is what we're thinking about. What if we did this A, B, C, D, E, F, 3, right? I also have one of those little pocket recorders because sometimes an idea just hits you, or you're talking to people and a day you hit you. If you don't have your phone, which does that happen nowadays? People without their phone? I'm not really sure, but I still have it in my briefcase anyway, because sometimes I like to record what we're talking about. I'm always trying to be able to track the trackable plan, the 4 spoke of the attitude shield. The trackable plan means to track it from the beginning to whatever it becomes. From the beginning to whatever it becomes. You need to be able to, I can't tell you how powerful it is to be able to go back and look at something and say, we used to were thinking we were going to do 1, 2, 3, A, L, Z, and then we sort of pivoted right here. We did H7, and H7 didn't take us where you want to go. So we need to back up, right? We need to redirect. As the leader, as an entrepreneur, you got to be willing to go it alone. You got to be willing to go it alone. But one of the tools, one of the superpowers you give yourself is by making a trackable plan. And that means from the get-go, right? And don't forget, the Attitude Shield nugget here, be willing to go it alone, because many times you're not going to finish with the people you started with. I'm not telling you your partners are going to go away. I'm just saying, things don't always go the way you want to. I myself much rather look at my life and say, hell yeah, I did that. Rather than, I wish I'd have done that. Hey, do you have a bucket list? I hope so. I love checking things off my bucket list. Don't you? I adore it. I think it's fantastic. It's one of my favorite things. Now, for me, because I love the Black Hills. To me, this is the heart of the planet. This is where it's all at. Just that's the world according to me. All right. Crazy Horse Monument is one of the most amazing places on the planet. And I love to go there. I could literally go there every week. I love the motto of the monument: never forget your dreams. Now, the guy who started that monument knew for a fact it wouldn't be done in his lifetime, knew for a fact it wouldn't be done in his children's lifetime, and knew for a fact it probably wouldn't be done in his grandchildren's lifetime, but he did it anyway. I guarantee that guy at the end of his life said, hell yeah, I did that. He didn't say, I wish I'd done the other thing. This guy started a monument so big you can see it from space. It's so big that the hair in Crazy Horse, Mount Rushmore, would fit into his hair. There's a hole under his arm on the side of the mountain that it's been shaved down because it's getting thinner as they make the sculpture, right? But the hole there, from what I understand, the rock that came out of the hole underneath Crazy Horse's arm is equivalent to the rock removed from Mount Rushmore. And that's just under his arm. He built something so big, so ostentatious, so amazing that he knew, and his family knew, that there was no way it'd be done in the lifetime. Does that stop him? Did he say, well, that's just too big, I just can't do it? No. Did people call him crazy? Maybe, probably. Why? Because he could see something as if it is. But you know something I've noticed when I go to Crazy Horse and I walk through the museum and I read about him and his amazing family? You can track what they've done. You can track what they did. Sometimes trackable plan is actually the ability to tell the story. The ability to tell the story of your business, of your adventure, of your journey. Now, don't forget, sometimes A to B is where you're going, but the path may go crazy and over here and down here around the corner, right? It's never going to be a straight line. But again, the message for Trackable Plan is Crazy Horse is an amazing example. They can tell you how they started. They can tell you each step of the way. And I'm sure that the amazing people that run that place, that are driving that monument forward, are able to have a meeting and say, we did this, this is the result. We did that, this is the result. And they're able to pivot. They're able to track. They're able to make it. Why am I sticking with Crazy Horse while I talk to you? Because it's larger than life. It's literally larger than multiple lives. Why? Because it's going to take multiple lives to finish it. Now, that's a vision. That's being able to look. Think about it. He was able to look at a rock, a mountain, and see it transform. And not only could he see the mountain transform, he could see the campus. He could see the vision of this family has always impressed me beyond my ability to explain it. Every single time in business life for me that I feel frustrated, I remember Crazy Horse. Every single time that I feel like I can't get something done, I think about the family who's building Crazy Horse. If they can do that, there's nothing we can't do when we apply the attitude shield, when we apply the fourth concept, the fourth principle, the trackable plan. Look, call me crazy, but I love to see people happy. I love to see people succeeding in their journey, because life's not a competition. Because listen to me, if life's a competition, then I am not even in second, third, or 100th place when it comes to what Crazy Horse is accomplishing. Life is not a competition. It's a journey. But on that journey, we should be able to track it. We should be able to think back on it. We should be able to tell the story of our business, tell the story of our entrepreneurship, tell the story of that which we are doing. Why? Because hopefully you're building something that's bigger than your life. Hopefully you're building something that's bigger than your family's generational. Why not? Generational wealth. Isn't that something that we would all like to accomplish? Generational impact. Wouldn't you like to sit back someday knowing that 50, 60, 80, 100 years from now, your grandchildren are going to go, well, I tell you what, can you imagine what life would be without what he or she did, without what grandma did, without what grandpa did? Can you imagine the impact you can make? And what about if you have the ability to pass down to them? Think about this. Sip coffee. Pass down to them the trackable plan that shows them how you built your empire, your business, how you built your crazy horse. And they can read it. You can tell the story of your adventure. Hashtag Attitude Shield teaches you to be ready to go it alone, to be ready to be called crazy, to be ready to be told you can't do something. Do it anyway. It teaches us that there's nothing we can't do when we believe 100%, when we understand that movement equals motivation. Movement equals momentum, not the other way around. Momentum brings the motivation. Remember, when we commit to something, listen, every single day, that commitment in your entrepreneurial world, heck, in your life, is going to be challenged. Look at Crazy Horse. 714 stairs going up and down to turn on a generator. 70 years ago, kerchunk, kerchunk, kerchunk. Yeah, I want you to look into Crazy Horse. I want you to see that the belief and the movement and the commitment and the trackable plan is bringing something to life that's so big you can see it from outer space. And the challenges they have faced are how big compared to the ones we face? Right. Puts us in what? 200th place? Life's not a competition. It's an amazing journey that should be able to be shared with other people because you have a trackable plan. All right. I will see you soon. Hey, take some notes between now and then. Maybe we can compare them someday.
You've been listening to the Hashtag Attitude Shield podcast. Davidlparker is a serial entrepreneur. Having owned bars, car lots, restaurants, marketing companies, he's already gone through the ups and downs. And his passion is to point guidance on how to change the way you think to live the life you've always wanted. We pride ourselves on information you can use between 20 and 30 minutes. We'll be back soon. David is an active and inspiring speaker. Reach out now to book him. Hit the website at attitudeshield.com or email to attitudeshieldmentor@gmail.com. See you next time on the Hashtag Attitude Shield podcast.